Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with usually Monday to Friday update for Bitcoin and XRP. I wasn't able to do an update for you the last 2 days. I had to go to London and back, so terribly hectic. I'm back now in Spain and looking at Bitcoin and XRP. Let's go to Bitcoin first. There we are. It is moving higher. It's moving higher reasonably today. I want to see strength and upward movement though before I'm confident that we're going to get an upward breakout. I want to see an increase in price moving higher with push from volume and preferably an increase in range. If we see, well, we did see an increase in range here, and then we started to see these little pullbacks. Well, this is just really difficult to tell if we're only going to get an upward swing to resistance and then another downward swing to support, or when price gets to resistance, are we going to see an upward breakout? So let's understand that price is back within this consolidation. It's back within this rectangle pattern, which has a bit of a downward slope, an even more strong downward slope since the last low on the 5th of August, and wait for a breakout. The breakout could be upward, the breakout could be downward. This was not a downward breakout. It did not close below prior support, which is at 53,500. It didn't manage to close below that, had a bullish long lower wick. In the immediate session following, price closed back within the rectangle pattern and back above the pink trend line. Now price is moving higher. If we have an upward breakout, we need to see a close above 73,100 and then 2 or 3 days up and away in order to have confidence it's not a false breakout and that we're on the way up. In order to have confidence in a downward breakout, we need to see a close below 53,500 and then 2 or 3 days down and away in order to filter out another potential false downward breakout. While we haven't had a close above resistance and an upward breakout, or a close below support and a downward breakout, price is swinging from support to resistance and back again within this consolidation. It's just on its way. In the early stages of an upward swing, let's expect overall upward movement to resistance at 71,500 to 73,100, or at the upper edge of this pink channel in the first instance. Price is moving higher up after that strong downward movement for the 5th of August, but it didn't have push from volume. Price moved strongly lower on the 5th of August with a sharp volume spike and a sharp increase in range. That happens commonly at the end of bearish movements for Bitcoin, but it will also happen at interim lows within bear markets for Bitcoin. We can't tell yet which of those two scenarios is playing out, but when we look at the bigger picture, as I did in my last video, and I looked at the weekly chart with you for Bitcoin, it is still in an upward trend for over a year. November 2022, the end of a year-long bear market, November 2022 started a new bull market. Series of higher highs and higher lows remains intact. We should assume the bull market remains intact until proven otherwise. Proven otherwise would be breaking that pattern of higher highs and higher lows. ADX tells us there's still a downward trend. If there's been a trend change and an end to that downward swing and there's a start of a new upward swing, ADX won't catch up for that for a while. It's based on a 14-day average, so it may not catch up for a week or two. RSI reached oversold on the 5th of August. There's a pivot now developed on price and RSI. There is now, not very strong, but there is single week bullish divergence between the pivot low from the 24th of June and the pivot low from the 5th of August. That adds a little bit of confidence that we may have a low in place for the longer term and we may be on the way to get an upward breakout, but let's wait and see how price behaves when it gets up to resistance. There's a pivot low developed now on money flow, and there is bullish divergence between the 5th of July and the 5th of August. Price has closed to a lower low, money flow has closed to a higher low. In conjunction with RSI reaching oversold and exhibiting divergence, money flow exhibiting divergence, price ending that downward movement with strong volume and an increase in range, the evidence is stacking up to potentially tell us that low may be intact, but in order for having confidence in that view, I want to be patient and wait to see if we're going to get an upward breakout, and 2 or 3 days away, as I explained on the price chart, before I really have confidence that we do have a long-term low in place. I'm looking out for it though. The evidence suggests that may be the case. ATR is still showing an increase. If this continues to show an increase as price moves higher within the upward swing, then the evidence suggesting a long-term low is in place will increase. I was expecting for XRP for price to move below 0.5404. I thought it might only reach to 0.5252 with a downward wick, but it didn't do that. It reached below 0.4659 with a strong downward wick. So I was expecting support either here or here. It was the lower edge. I thought this was going to be more likely, but we did get movement below 0.5404. We got a sharp reversal, and now we're getting really strong upward movement. This is a huge bullish candlestick for the 7th of August. For XRP, I expect prices finding resistance at the upper edge of this channel. I'm going to zoom out and show you how I've drawn that trend line. I've drawn it from the high of the 14th of July to the high of the 11th of March on a semi-log scale. I pushed a parallel copy down on the low for the 17th of August. So if you draw that channel in that way, you'll see that the high for the 31st of July also found resistance, and that was where this downward swing was initiated. Yesterday's session, 7th of August, nearly found resistance just a little bit below that channel. If we see a full green daily candlestick above and not touching this trend line, I'd have enough confidence in this wave count to move the invalidation point and risk up to the low for the 5th of August. For now, it remains down here at the low for the 5th of July. If minute wave 2 continues further as a double, it may not move beyond the start of 1 below 0.3838. XRP briefly broke below support at 54.55 cents, had a wick down below next support at 46 cents, and it's moved very quickly back up and away. Let's expect again support at 57 cents. Below that, support 54.55 cents should be still reasonably strong. It's at resistance now at 62 cents. Huge bullish candlestick for the 7th of August with a big volume spike. Volume really strongly favours the upside for XRP. This is very bullish. Price is moving higher overall, and volume is strongly supporting that upward movement. Very bullish for XRP. ADX is declining. The DX lines are whipsawing. There's no clear trend at this time frame. ATR showing an increase as price moves higher. Volume and volatility favour the upside for XRP. Stochastics just almost dipped properly into oversold, got halfway there. Price found support. Price is now moving higher. Stochastics is moving higher. Expect an upward swing to continue until price is at resistance, which it's very, very near at now. Maybe the next little resistance above, and stochastics reaches overbought. If they get there simultaneously and ADX still says there's no clear trend, then we may see the end of the upward swing. But if ADX says there's a trend, then I ditch the model of stochastics support and resistance, and I go with the model using ADX, RSI and money flow. And that's it from me today with an update for you. I hope you all had a lovely last few days and didn't miss me too much.